Hey guys, Gary the Rad Retro Dude, and tonight we're headed back to the Midnight Society campfire for one of the creepiest lessons the 90s ever taught us. Sometimes the real monster is the beauty industry. We're talking about Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of the Mystical Mirror. So this episode opens exactly how every 90s kid remembers: a dark forest, a glowing campfire, and Tucker somehow treating the Midnight Society meeting like a backyard cookout. He's roasting a hot dog while Gary is trying to keep things serious because apparently storytelling rules clearly state no snacks during spooky time. Betty Ann arrives feeling uncomfortable because her mom wants her to dress up and wear makeup for a family photo. And right away, the episode sets up a theme. Sometimes people feel pressure to change their appearance just to fit in, which, let's be honest, was a huge part of the 90s. This was the era of magazine covers telling you what was cool, mall stores telling you what you needed, and school picture day where somehow everyone ended up with that same awkward pose. Betty Ann tells the group that looks can be deceiving and sometimes mirrors lie. She throws the Midnight Society dust in the fire, flames shoot up, and we're officially submitted for approval: the tale of the mystical mirror. The story begins in the woods under a full moon, which in 90s television is basically the universal sign that nothing good is about to happen. We meet Tanis, a young woman being followed by a mysterious hooded figure calling her name. She begins feeling intense pain, drops her compact mirror, screams, and suddenly your scream turns into the howl of a dog. That moment alone probably made half of us sit a little closer to the TV, but not too close because we didn't want our parents telling us to turn the lights off and go to bed. Next, we move to Elysian Beauty Store, a boutique hidden in the woods, which already sounds suspicious because no good business location in the 90s was ever deep in the forest. We meet Cindy, who feels insecure about her appearance, and her friend Laurel, who believes Cindy just needs a little confidence boost. If you grew up in the 90s, you probably remember how big makeovers were in movies and TV. There was always a scene where someone took off their glasses, changed their outfit, and suddenly everyone acted like they were a completely different person. Inside the shop, we meet Vicky, who immediately makes it clear that she's not interested in winning any customer service awards. Then the owner, Miss Valenti, appears, and everything about her is almost too perfect. She believes beauty is extremely important, and she proudly explains that her shop has always focused on helping women look their best. But something about the way she says it just feels off. Miss Valenti offers Cindy a makeover and gives her a compact mirror, explaining that she gives one to all of her beauties. At first, everything seems normal until Cindy sees Miss Valenti using a mysterious mirror to restore her own youth with a flash of magical energy. That's usually the point where most of us watching realize, okay, this is definitely not just a makeup tutorial. Soon, Miss Valenti convinces Vicky to drink a strange potion that promises beauty forever. Moments later, Vicky collapses in pain and transforms into a dog. And suddenly, the message of the episode becomes very clear. Maybe don't accept mystery beverages from strangers. Cindy begins noticing strange clues around Miss Valenti's house. Portraits from different decades all show Miss Valenti looking exactly the same age. But when Cindy views the portraits through her compact mirror, she sees the truth. Miss Valenti is actually extremely old. The beauty is just an illusion. Meanwhile, Laurel becomes hypnotized by the mystical mirror and also drinks the potion, transforming into a dog. Now, Miss Valenti has collected 3 victims whose beauty she plans to seal forever. Cindy follows the sound of barking through the woods and finds her friends trapped in wooden cages near a bonfire while Miss Valenti prepares a ritual. The scene is surprisingly intense for a 90s kid show. Miss Valenti offers Cindy the same temptation: eternal beauty. All she has to do is accept the mirror's power, but Cindy refuses. Instead, she smashes the mystical mirror. Miss Valenti rapidly ages in seconds, transforming from youthful to elderly to skeletal before turning completely to dust. Cindy frees her friends, and the illusion of the beauty shop disappears. Back at the Midnight Society, Betty Ann reminds everyone that beauty isn't everything, and Tucker immediately resumes cooking hot dogs like absolutely nothing traumatic just happened, which feels very accurate to real life. One minute you're terrified, then next minute you're hungry again. Which feels very accurate to real life. One minute you're terrified, the next minute you're hungry again. Now, there are some things you may not have known about this episode. Laura Bertram, who portrayed Laurel, also appeared in the season 1 episode The Tale of the Lonely Ghost, making her one of the few actors to appear multiple times as different characters. The stick cages used in the ritual scene were actually reused props from The Tale of Watcher's Woods, proving that even the Midnight Society had to work within a budget. This is one of the 21 episodes where the Midnight Society does not dump water on the fire at the end, probably because everyone was too busy eating hot dogs. The character Cindy references Zeebo the Clown, connecting this episode to one of the most iconic villains in the entire series, first seen in the tale of Laughing in the Dark. Sharp-eyed fans may also notice a vial from the Tale of the Dark Dragon hidden among Miss Valenti's belongings, creating a subtle connection between different stories in the Are You Afraid of the Dark universe. What makes this episode stand out is the message. It reminds us that chasing perfection can sometimes cause people to lose sight of what really matters. Confidence doesn't come from a mirror, and trying to impress everyone else can sometimes lead you into situations that aren't healthy or safe, especially if those situations involve mysterious witches in the woods offering glowing potions. Overall, this episode is a classic 90s spooky storytelling, memorable villain, strong message, creepy atmosphere, and just enough intensity to keep kids talking about it at school the next day. For all those reasons, I'm giving The Tale of the Mystical Mirror a very rad retro rating of 9 out of 10. If you grew up watching SNICK on Saturday nights, this episode probably stuck with you. And if you didn't, it's definitely worth revisiting. Just maybe not right before looking in a mirror in a dark room. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this trip back to the Midnight Society campfire, make sure to like, subscribe, and keep it totally rad. This is Gary, the Rad Retro Dude, reminding you stay nostalgic, stay spooky, and remember, real confidence doesn't come from magic mirrors.